Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Fiery Pulse, where we break down print automation into practical, actionable steps you can apply in real life production. I'm Joanna Portela, and I'll be hosting today's sessions. And whether you've been following the full series from the beginning or just joining us today, we're glad you're here because today we're moving into step 4 of the automation journey, error-free finishing with barcode-driven automation. So far, we focus on optimizing what happens before the job hits the press, automating setup, standardizing position, and streamlining pre-press. Now, we're looking at what happens after printing because finishing is where precision really matters. In this session, you'll see how barcode-driven workflows bridge the gap between print and finishing, enabling the device to read job data automatically, apply the correct settings, and keep production moving without manual intervention. But before we dive in, just a few quick reminders. All attendees are muted to ensure clear audio. And let us know in the chat where you're joining us from. Drop your comments. We love to see your engagement. I'm joining from Germany. And use the Q&A panel to submit your questions. We'll cover as many as possible live. And yes, the session is being recorded and we'll send you the replay afterwards. And just a quick tip, stay through the end. We plan a small surprise for you. Now, I'm pleased to introduce today's speakers. First, my dear colleague, Heather Long, Product Marketing Manager at Fiery. She will start us off by explaining why finishing automation is a critical step in building fully connecting workflow. Then, Doug Richards, Product Line Manager at Fiery, will walk us through a live demo showing how barcode finishing integrates directly with imposition to ensure the jobs are completed accurately for the first time. Now, let's get started. Heather, the floor is yours.
Great. Thank you so much, Joanna. And Doug, if you could advance the slides a little bit. Perfect. Let's go slide 4. So 2 more. There we go. Thank you. Yep. Great. Okay. So yeah, thank you so much, Joanna. We will, today we're going to recap our automation journey so far. So as she mentioned, first we use hot folders and Fiery presets to automate the job submission process. And then we automated imposition using Fiery impose. Then after that, our third session, we used job flow to handle the pre-press decision making. So up until this point, jobs are on autopilot up until print. So now here's the big question. Why does automation have to stop there? Our next slide. There we go. So now we want to extend the automation beyond just print and into the finishing process. So we're going to do this by using barcodes to drive the automation using Fiery impose. So this is where the workflow actually becomes connected. So the reality in a lot of shops is that you've automated the job submission, your press is running smoothly, printing away, and then somebody walks over to the cutter and has to set up that layout all over again. That means they're having to retype in the numbers, recheck the margins, and hope that nothing's off. Then if something is off, there goes their time, they're wasting paper, and there goes their sanity. In our current world of getting lots of short runs and tight deadlines, finishing becomes the bottleneck. The printer's fast, the rip is fast, but finishing slows everything down. So the question becomes, what if finishing could just set itself up? With Fiery impose, we're going to build the imposition layout just once, and then you can design it to include those finishing marks such as those cut, crease, or perforation instructions. And then all that information is put into a barcode right directly there on the sheet. Then when you load that stack into your finisher, like a Duplo, Horizon, or MBM, whatever it is you're running, the machine can then read the barcode and configures itself automatically. No having to set it up again, no walking back and forth. The sheet will tell the finisher what to do. That's the magic to transition from, manual over to automated finishing. And then here's the key piece. This isn't tied to just one finishing brand. Fiery Impose can integrate with all of the major offline slitter, cutter, creaser devices. So whatever you've got on the floor, you're going to set up that in position to work with your particular finisher. So Fiery Impose will understand that particular finisher's parameters. But what does this actually mean for your shop? It means that the finishing setup time can drop dramatically and sometimes, in some cases, up to 80%, which it also means fewer screw ups because no one's having to re-enter the layout settings at the cutter. It means consistent layout from shift to shift, no matter who's running it. And most importantly, it means faster turnaround on those short run jobs, such as a business card or postcard. And we want to share this cool quote here with you. We heard from one shop in Virginia. They told us they've got about 15 jobs already built into their Fiery workflow. They don't manually impose the sheets every time. They just drop in the file and let it run. So after they've moved from cutting 8.5 by 11 business cards on a guillotine cutter to then automating it with their finisher on a larger sheet with Fiery and Duplo, now they can take on about 500 business cards and print them, and it costs them about $7 to produce it, and then they can sell it for $92, which is incredible. So when your finishing isn't the bottleneck anymore, those annoying little jobs suddenly become the ones that you actually want to get, and you can get a high profit with little work. So now we can actually go ahead and take a look at it, see it in action. So I will pass it over to Doug, who's going to show you what this looks like in real life. And first, he's going to show you how fast it can be using a custom layout for a tent card. And then after that, he will build a new layout for a business card from scratch. So I will go ahead and pass it over to you, Doug. And I believe you are on mute.
Doug, you're still muted? Let me see that. Oh, there you go.
There we go.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
So yeah, so let's do this. We're here in Command Workstation right now. Many of you are very familiar with Command Workstation. It is the window into the Fiery, kind of your hub if you're working on a Fiery system. What I'm going to do here is just open up a couple windows, because what I want to do is I've created a hot folder. Hot folders, if you don't currently use them, they're standard on many Firies, they're optional on a few. But what it really is, it's a great kind of what I would call first automation step. And you can create this hot folder, configure it with all the settings. It could be various job property settings for media, but also include things like the impose templates that we're going to be working with. So I already have one all set up. So let me just take my PDF and I'm going to copy it into my hot folder here. And in just a few seconds, we'll see that job show up here inside of Command Workstation. At that point, it's going to be ready to print. It's already going to be imposed, any media settings that were required, anything else, it's already built in there. And because we built our template using the barcode finishing settings, it's, like I said, it's ready to print. So let me do this. As a kind of a pro tip here, if you see this DBP extension, it means that it's already imposed. So let me do this. Let me go ahead and I'll pop this into impose so you can see what's going on. And you can see that the layout is already done. So this was the original. I know it's tiny, but this is the original tent card here in page view. And it's 2 up. You can see the barcode, and also there's a registration mark. Many finishers have this, or some variation of a registration mark. And it just helps for the finisher to see that the sheet is in the position where it needs to be. Before we go any further, what I want to do is show you something here in preferences. And inside of impose preferences, you'll see that there is a finishers area. This is where you can allow finisher integration. And then depending on the device that you have, could be a Duplo, it could be an MBM, it could be a graphic wizard or Horizon, whatever you choose, these settings then may be different. So in this case, we're using a Duplo 618, and in this case, we're mapping out to the controller path. For this product, we kind of have a little bit of bi-directional communication, so we can send the finisher layout information, but we can also grab layout information off of the finisher as well. So it just kind of depends on the device and what it supports. So as I mentioned, we have this tent card already laid out, but what you don't see are all the cut lines and perf lines and everything that went into it. Let me show you those. I'm going to jump into the finisher preset here and go ahead and select that preset just so you can see what went into it. Here it is. I'm going to apply that. And so here you can see where all of the cut line information, where the crease information with these red lines. So we had built in some creasing information, and also we had put in some perfing information. So this went all into this finishing preset. And so as you were going through and designing it, you would have said that you had vertical perfs, not horizontal ones. You had the layout sheet size, rows and columns, all the creasing information. I'm just going to go through these very quickly just so you can see it. So we have 3 different creases in this job. And then on the perf information, it wants to know where the perfs are, right? So you can set all this up just like what you saw here inside of impose, and then send that down to the Duplo finisher, and then it will know exactly how everything works. The Duplo finish, this particular Duplo interface, this is one for business cards, but you can see that, again, if you wanted to, you could actually go in here and edit it using the Duplo tools if you chose to do that, and then pull it back to the firing. So that is the kind of the basics on how this all kind of functions. Let me show you then exactly after we do all the work, we printed the sheets out, what happens here on the actual finisher. So we're putting in the, sorry, I just want to check. Are you able to hear music in the background, Heather?
No, we can't.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So you're able to go ahead, put the sheets in, it reads the barcode, the registration marks, and then goes ahead and does all of the cutting, slitting, perfing, creasing. So you can see here that it's being folded along the crease lines, the 3 crease lines. The perfs are being opened up. And then finally, the final product is put together. So that is it. That's the little tent card there from being able to work with it all within Impose and not, again, using the hot folder. You really didn't have to do anything other than print the job, put it in the finisher, and it understands exactly how to finish the job. So it becomes very fast, very profitable when you're working with those types of workflows. All right, let's take a look at another type of job, and that would be something that we talked about earlier, and that's business cards. So let me show you one. Let me show you a business card that we already have put together here. I'm just going to pop this into Impose. And so this one, it's already set up. It's already laid out. I used a template to do this, so it has the barcode information. It has the registration mark. It shows the feed direction. It's ready to print. All I'd have to do is say process and print, or just print, and it's done. Right. So very, very straightforward. But let me show you then how I did this. So I'm going to take another business card just so you can see that I'm working with a different file. Still a similar type size. I'm going to go into Impose on this. All right. And so you can see that here's the finished size of the business card. Normally when I work with Impose, I'm going in and kind of working here in this area, right? But because I know that I'm going to end up creating a finisher preset for this, or applying a finisher preset, that's where I'm going to start, right? And I'm going to create a new preset, right? We're not going to use one from our library. So I'm going to create a new preset. I could give it a barcode number here now, or I can assign one later. And so let's go ahead and step through this. Right, I'm not doing any perfs on this job, so I can go ahead and tab through there. Layout, I want to select my sheet size. So let's go ahead and do that. If I had a paper catalog entry, I could grab that. But I'm just going to go ahead and say that this is a 13 by 19 sheet. I'm going to set my media weight, and set it a little heavier. It's a business card, and I'll be done with it. Okay. Next tab is to go to portrait. Well, it's smart enough to know that it cannot feed this sheet in any other orientation other than portrait. So you'll see that when I hit tab next time, it automatically orients the sheet correctly. I do want the barcode there, and you can see that it kind of popped in. I'm going to scoot this over just a little bit. All right, finish size. So it reads the finish size out of the PDF. So I don't have to do that. If your PDF wasn't constructed in quite the same way, where you needed to go in and tell it what the finish size was, you could manually type that in, but it was able to pick that out of the trim box information. Okay, rows and columns. So here I'm going to actually make a mistake, just so you can see once again that it's not going to let me do something that I can't do with the finisher. So, right, so I'm going to have fixed gutters, and for the horizontal gutters, I want my bleeds are 1/8 of an inch US size, so I'm going to tell it that my gutter is then going to be 1/4 of an inch. Does some rounding there, but you'll see now that because of the number of products that I have here vertically, it won't let me do that, right? It says your fixed gutter is going to have to be 0, because you just don't have room to do that proper gutter. If this was a type of layout where it was kind of solid color, type business card, you could probably get away with that. But this, I need to have that bleed in there. So let me fix this, and let me go back. So I'm going to go back here, make that 8. Now let's go through. Now I can see that I can have that fixed better at 0.25. Again, it does some rounding here. Layout offset, it automatically calculates that, so it knows exactly where the sheet needs to be aligned right to left and up and down. And we'll just tab through this. We're not doing any creasing. We're not doing any perfs. So at this point, I can just go ahead and say apply and publish if I want to. Right. I'm going to say auto-generate the barcode. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it my newest card. There we go. And it's going to go ahead and send that down, all the information down to the finisher. I'm going to hit publish. And that's it. The only other step I might want to do is say, you know what, I have this business card layout now. Let me go ahead and save this as a template. So now I can tie that to a hot folder. I could tie it to just being able to go within job properties and pick that template so it automatically prints. I can incorporate it into some other workflow like job flow, for instance. So having that template is very, very powerful. But that's it. It's not difficult to incorporate this level of automation into your imposition and finishing. So with that, I'm going to hand it back over to Heather.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Doug. All right. Yeah, that was great to see it, already built, and then how you kind of set it up. That was good to see live. So since the barcode-driven finishing integration is an advanced capability of Fiery Impose, it's not available in our free version, the demo mode of Impose. So the best next step is we recommend you to request a personalized demo with a Fiery expert. So you can go ahead and fill out the form at the website shown here, or scan that QR code on screen. And then we can connect you with a Fiery expert, and you're not going to get a generic demo. The session would focus on, your environment, your equipment, and your goals. So that way you can see how it can really make an impact for you. And then you can leave the session knowing, what kind of time savings you can expect. The next slide. Great. And right now, we're offering a 20% off discount for Fiery Impose for a limited time. So as Joanna was mentioning, this is our little, sneak peek thank you offer for everyone attending today. So if you've been, cutting business cards on a guillotine thinking there's got to be a better way to do this, this is the time. This is the way. So go ahead and visit shop.fiery.com/product/impose to go ahead and download it, and you'll see that discount applied there. The discount runs for 2 weeks from today through March 10th. This is going to be the easiest way to speed up your process without having to hire another person. And our next slide, we will show you, yep, there we go. So we want to remind you to be sure to also register for our next webinar in the series here. That'll be level 5, and we will be covering how to automate with other shop systems and connecting your print workflow. So be sure to visit our website for the Fiery webinars, and you can register for the next one on March 25th. And then with that, we can go ahead and open it up for Q&A. So you can enter your questions into the panel there at the bottom.
Exactly. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Doug. And while you do that, there's just one more thing I'd like to ask you guys to do is that to answer our survey. I'm just sharing here the link to our survey. This is something we like to share every time at the end of our webinars just to collect your feedback. You are free to give us ideas of topics you'd like to hear from us next time. And we always read those comments and we consider your suggestions too. So please help us there and tell us how we did. Right, so let's go into the questions. We got quite a few. So the first question here is, do you have to have an extra equipment for the Duplo to read the QR codes, or is that a built into the Duplo?
Yes, so it's for most modern finishing equipment, there is a barcode scanner right there at the feeder section. So you go ahead and load the paper, it should be able to scan that barcode right there on the Duplo, as well as other modern finishing equipment as well.
Great. And now the
and Doug, I think you're muted again. I think he was trying to add something.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Doug. If you have anything to say, unmute yourself. You still muted? Yeah.
He's trying to unmute. There we go.
All right, and let me stop sharing so you're not.
Or just back to the PowerPoint slide. That way we can see the resources too.
There we go. Okay. So, and just a point on the with Duplo or any of the finishing manufacturers, I highly encourage you just to reach out to your rep or your dealer rep just to talk to them about what finisher options are available. Because if you do have, say, an older piece of equipment or again, a piece of equipment that just doesn't support that, please reach out to them, see what your options are, and being able to have this more automated type finishing experience.
Great. So next question is, what about workflows that involve wide format printers and flatbed cutters like Zund, Colex, SharpCut, and Esco?
So those types of finishers or those types of cutters for impose, we don't currently support any of those types of devices. What we do is with our Fiery XF product, our wide format Firies, we do have cutting support within those products. So it's a bit different, obviously, because of the formats, but I highly encourage you to take a look at that. If you go to fiery.com and look under Fiery XF, you should see support for the cutters there. If you can't find anything, then you can reach out to us certainly on communities. If you haven't found communities yet, go ahead and go there. And then you can also reach out to us. Is there an additional link to reach out to us anywhere, Heather, on this meeting invite?
I think it would be best, if they scan the QR code to then talk to the Fiery.
Okay,
expert.
perfect. Okay, yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. All right. So next question. If I change something in the layout, does that automatically update the barcode instructions?
Yeah. So if you change the layout, as long as you're doing it within the kind of the layout designer, then it can go ahead, generate a new barcode, and you can send that instruction down to the finisher, or same thing as if you were to pull in new finishing information from the finisher itself into impose. But just changing the layout doesn't necessarily automatically send information down to the finisher. You need to do that within the little designer tool there that will then generate the proper cutting, creasing, perfing information that can be shipped down to the printer or to the finisher, excuse me.
Okay. And the next question is, can you set finisher integration for more than one device at a time?
So not currently. So what I've seen is folks, if they have multiple finishers, they'll have multiple command workstation instances. So on one command workstation, they have it set up for finisher A, and then on another command workstation, finisher B. It just makes it a bit easier to deal with that, because if you're constantly going in and changing finisher configurations, it takes too much time, and it can end up leading to some frustration. So if you have multiple finishers, I would just recommend having a separate command workstation instance running on another PC or Mac, and that would solve that.
Okay. Another question is, when I go into my in-post preferences, Duplo DC616 isn't an option. Is there a driver or another way to get that added as an option?
So the 616, I think supports, and I need to double check, but I think it says, here, we can actually take a peek at it since we have it right here. Let's take a look. So if I go under preferences, and I go under finishers, yeah, so the 616 isn't there, but the 616 does support I think just some basic barcodes. So what you would do here, and I'll just do this very quickly, is you would just go into Impose, you would create your layout, how you want to create your layout, and then you would go under Marks and go Define, and here's where you could go ahead and set your registration barcode layout, right? So you would say barcode only. This is already set up for 618, but you could go ahead and select a barcode and then have your registration mark on there. It would, again, it's kind of more of a manual step than this automated one for the 618, but you can certainly add barcodes and the registration marks for that printer.
Okay, thanks, Doug. And I will take one last question. I see that we reached our time. But if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to us and we'll be happy to help. So last question, does InPost automatically handle shrinking to Duplo?
So that has been a feature request to add some additional shrinking control. So we are looking at that. We don't have that today.
Okay, very good. Well, with that, I would like to thank Heather and Doug for the presentation today. Thank you all for joining us. I hope to see you next month with our next webinar session where we're going to be talking about APIs. And yeah, hope to see you next time. Thank you all very much.
Well, one more quick thing, Joanna. I just wanted to call out. If you see right there on the slide, we have a link, fiery.com/finishing integration. If you guys go ahead and visit that, you'll see all of the major brands that we integrate with. You click on one of those, and then you can access the how-to guides. That way you can see the exact level, such as I see there were some questions about the Duplo 616. So there's a how-to guide in there on the Duplo page, and that we support the XML integration, and it'll kind of help you set up the steps there. So please go ahead and visit that URL to download the specific how-to guide.
Yes, and just the ebook is here in our handouts. You can download that, but you also receive a link to download in the email follow-up that will be sent to you. All right, well, so thank you all very much and see you next time.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, bye-bye.